Welcome back to Young Bloom's Flower School, and I'm here for another tutorial. This one's quite a simple one really, and just a technique that's quite useful for when I learned how to do it. It's quite useful for when I wanted to use these sorts of flowers. I have here a phalaenopsis orchid, and I want to just show you how to wire them. So, like I said, quite a simple technique, but I'm using them for Young Bloom's the Flower School's next tutorial. So I thought it was just a really useful tip to be able to know what to do. I'm not a great one for the insides of an orchid, so all the little sections right in the middle, you can kind of see it's very delicate right in here. But the main thing before I start is just manhandling these, because when you get them from the flower market, you're paying per head of flower basically. So they're precious cargo. You don't want to be being silly with them and just playing with them, because they are so delicate. You can dent if you use a nail, you can, because they're kind of got a rubbery texture, so you can, if you bash them, you can make marks, which is quite annoying because I've done them in bouquets, bridal bouquets, and sort of nicked the edge of a petal, and it's just quite frustrating. So do be careful when you start using them as a flower. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to learn how to wire these beautiful flowers, and I'm going to get started now. So like I said, we're going to look at wiring these phalaenopsis orchids, and they can be, I think, as I should have said earlier, these flowers can be a bit sort of intimidating, because they are much more unusual, and also, you know, if you're using individual heads, you haven't got much of a stem to play with. So I think I did find them intimidating when I first came across them, but don't be intimidated. Right, I have a rose wire, so just fine silver wire, and I'm literally just going to make a hairpin, so just bending over the top like that. So I've cut the head off. As we all know, phalaenopsis orchids, they sort of come with long stems, and then the heads are all near the top. And you can kind of see, if you look into the middle of the head, there's sort of a tube. There's a tube that just runs the length of that middle section. And basically, you just want to post, it's like an operation, post this down, and if I hold that back, you might or might not be able to see it where the wire's gone. So the wire's here, and I've gone through the back. I'll show you the back as well. Oops, and I have actually pierced. That's annoying. So I've pierced one of the leaves. I didn't get clean through. I might show you again with another head. So hairpin, like so. And then I'm going through the centre of this orchid head, and this time try not to pierce the petals either side. There we go. Right, and through. Okay, so let me just show you. See the wires coming out the back, and I've gone through. And you can see the wire, well, hopefully you should be able to see the wire in the middle. And then simply, I've got one longer wire and one shorter wire. I'm going to take the longer wire and wrap it around the stem, like so, okay? So then I'll just show you that, okay? And then I'll just show you again. So I'm taking the longer silver wire and just wrapping it around the stem, and then quite neatly you've got the wiring done. So the problem then is that that's a perfect way to wire it for corsages, or for, you know, quite short stem stuff that you want to do, and also the beauty of wiring it like this is you can manipulate it much more to, you know, because you've got that wiring, if you're delicate about it. So if you want the head to sit flat against something, you can kind of push the wires and encourage the stem to go where you want it to go. But the problem is if you want to put it into a bouquet, you have no length to play with. So this is where I think the jury goes out, in terms of, I have a stiffer green wire here. What's the best way to do? And I've tried various things. This stem here is so jolly delicate. I could I'll show you. I could post some of this wire up the stem like you would a rose. Okay, so hopefully you can see that. Yeah, I've gone halfway up the stem basically. So that's one option, and then you can carry on wiring that by attaching the longer silver wire around to the green wire, if that makes sense. There you go. So that's one technique. The second technique is, I'm just going to unwire this one, is to simply lay this stem, lay the green wire against the stem and incorporate the whole kit and caboodle. I'll show you a close-up of it in a minute. But I don't think, stability-wise, that gives you anything like you need. So that's another option, I would say. But the problem is you've got this sticking out, and I think it's much more likely the head is much more likely to break. So I would stick with option number 1. So then, just to recap, I've put the rose wire in, wind it round, and then just gently inserted this stiffer green wire. Up the stem. So then just gutter tape. My hands are cold. It's going to snap probably. Oh no, it's okay. There you go. So just wiring it, cover all the wire, and then break the tape off. And you should see a beautifully taped orchid head. Ta-da! Okay, so then obviously now you've got the long green wire on, you've got the stem length, that can go into a bouquet, can go into an arrangement, whatever you like, it's in. So happy days. So that's just a really simple technique for a beautiful flower, and a way to make it usable within bouquets and arrangements where needed. So hopefully you've enjoyed this and found it useful. I am going to incorporate these into a wrist corsage, so do watch out for the next tutorial. And I hope you found this helpful. As always, thank you for all of the new subscribers. Really lovely to have you on board. Do check out the Flower School, so it's www.youngbloomsflowerschool.com. Come join us. It's 2 tutorials a month, really lovely group of people in a whole variety of different sort of stages of business. So check out the website, and I'll look forward to seeing you again soon.